Welcome to Shmu's Views Toward Observant Judaism. I'm Shmuel ben Shlomi, and I want to welcome you to our channel. Before we get started, I want to encourage you to hit that subscribe button, the notification bell, so you can be informed of any future videos that we post here. And also, if you could hit that thumbs up button if you like this channel, that would really help also. I want to talk about today everything that's going on in the world. We are just pre-Rosh Hashanah for this year, and the world seems to be in great turmoil, especially if you're in the Middle East and in the United States. But the whole world is just seems to be in a massive turmoil. To lead people to ask the question, what in the world is going on here? What's happening? It's just in a matter of months. The whole, everything is just falling apart at the seams. And if you listen to the news media, which I encourage you don't listen to too much of it, it's just one negative story after the other, one bad news after another. They seem to have found the key to success, and that is continue reporting bad news, one thing after another. And let me tell you, please try to avoid that as much as possible. First, get a reliable news source that's going to tell you the truth, if there is such a thing out there. But I would encourage you, for the sake of your own soul, for the sake of your own mind, avoid the news media as much as possible, because, first of all, they're not giving you the whole truth. They're giving you their agenda. They're giving you the news that they want you to hear, that they think is going to bring them ratings. And let's face it, as sad as it is to say this, bad news brings ratings. If the news was filled every day with, good news, the saving of a puppy's life, you know what I mean? Probably very few of us would tune in. And that's a shame, because we need that uplift. We need that positive, uplifting news to give encouragement to our souls. So I'm going to encourage you to avoid that as much as possible. And on that idea, I want to talk to you today about a passage of the Tanakh, a book of the Tanakh called Koheleth, also called Ecclesiastes, written, we assume, by King Solomon, the wisest man who ever lived on this planet. And he really had some interesting insights. And so if you haven't read Ecclesiastes yet, I would encourage you to hit pause on this video and sit down and read it. It's not a long book. It's really just full of just rational, down-to-earth, common sense wisdom. And so when you're done reading it, then come back and finish this video. Many read Koheleth, Ecclesiastes, and believe it is written by a person full of despair and defeatism. But I tend to disagree. It seems that way on the surface, especially when you read it, a time to live, a time to die, a time for war, a time to peace, a time to reap, a time to sow. It's just, ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. And so from a surface reading of this wise man's writing, one would think that he's full of despair and defeatism. But I feel that this is an essay written by a person that has spent a great deal of time both living it and contemplating it all together. Living his life, contemplating the things going on around him, and then living it all together. After much experience of life and deliberation on the vast amount of wisdom that he has gained, this person came to the realization that life, in and of itself, had no real meaning. Let me repeat that. He came to understand that life, just life, in and of itself has no meaning. This is not a defeatist attitude, but one of quiet, reflective realism. This individual is not lamenting the fact, but simply stating the reality of it. Within his thoughts, the greatest question of all, is there or is there not a God, is noticeably missing in all of his evaluations. Why? Why would such an important question not really be addressed by this wisest of human beings? Because Solomon understood that this is one question with no finite answer, and therefore not one befitting the main thesis of his present dissertation. And like any great thinker, he does not intend to prove or disprove God, but assumes God. That is, by the way, all that man is really truly capable of on this present level of enlightenment. However, it begs the question of faith. Is the assumption of God the same as faith in God? I believe the writer answers that inquiry with a resounding no. Exclamation point. Faith, by its hidden agenda, does require, even demands, some form of proof, albeit ever so slim. Whereas assumption requires only an observable and rational acceptance of life as life, and for life's sake in all of its myriad manifestations. The author's final assumption is one that any reasonable person must come to by assumption after living and contemplating in true honesty their own life, and that is, the sum of the matter, quote, I'm quoting Solomon here, the sum of the matter, when all has been considered, be in awe of Hashem and keep his commandments, for this is man's whole duty. For this particular writer, those commandments happen to be the Torah of Moshe Rabbeinu, given by Hashem on Mount Sinai. However, regardless of your particular bent, the same truth applies. After all is said and done, one must be true to their assumed ideal of God, or they will be living a useless life of vanity and futility. Shalom. Before I go, I want to encourage you, like I said, to hit that subscribe button. Come by and visit our website, Shmoo's Views Toward Observant Judaism. The link to that website will be listed down below. We have all kinds of teachings there, teachings on the weekly Torah portion, the Parsha, for each week. We have lessons on, how to counteract Christian missionaries. So it's called Keeping Jews Keeping Jews Jewish. And we have all kinds of sections. We have a news section. We have a video section. So I would encourage you to, hit that link and drop by and subscribe to that channel as well. I'm going to wish you a very, very good year coming up. And in case we don't post a video between now and then, because it's only like a week away. So until that time, Lashana Torah and Shalom.